Hi, I'm Christine, and I'm going to answer the question, are the arts a necessary piece of today's elementary education? Many of our earliest memories involve art, such as coloring with crayons, or painting with paints, dancing and singing to silly songs. The arts are a way for us to communicate our ideas, our thoughts, and our feelings in a way besides just writing or speaking. It's important for young children to understand how to communicate in several different ways, and it's important for them to learn how to interpret different ways of communication, such as art and dancing. Unfortunately, in today's economic times, many schools are faced with the challenge of keeping arts in education. The arts are sometimes cut from the curriculum when school budgets are lower than they need to be in order to keep the art in the curriculum. So as the school cuts the budget, more money goes to meeting the math and reading requirements, and less money is available for the arts. With the No Child Left Behind law that was signed in 2002 by President Bush, it requires higher math and reading proficiencies in schools. So instead of schools trying to keep the arts in the curriculum, they feel like they have to spend the money on math and reading courses in order to meet the higher proficiencies that are required by this law, the No Child Left Behind. And Sam Dillon, an author of the New York Times, wrote in his article in March of 2006 that thousands of schools across the nation are responding to the reading and math testing requirements laid out in No Child Left Behind by reducing class time spent on other subjects. So that just reiterates the fact that many schools are faced with this tough challenge of keeping the arts in schools. And excuse me, there's also a program for international student assessments ranking that's done, and in 2009 the United States ranked 17th worldwide in reading, 23rd in science, and 31st in mathematics. What's interesting to note is that the other countries that were ranked ahead of the United States, such as Australia, Japan, and China, they all valued the arts as an essential part of education, and there were requirements of arts for students in order to graduate. So a well-balanced education is actually essential to success in today's world. The reason why art is so important is because it nurtures outside-the-box thinking, and it nurtures the creativity in children. And the outside-the-box thinking can actually help solve tomorrow's world challenges. This was by Dennis Earlfair, who is an advisor to the National Education Task Force, and he worked with Congress to try to change the way No Child Left Behind works with the art laws, the laws of the art education, so that art is more important, becomes a more important part. The arts are important to students and children because they give the students a creative way to express their ideas besides just reading or writing. They can dance, they can play music, and academically, taking arts can also increase their SAT scores, for example. This chart shows that as students take more art classes, their SAT scores actually go up. For example, taking a half year or less of art class, it results in a 485 score in the verbal and a 502 in math. And as you go higher to 4+ years, verbal goes up to 534 and math goes up to 540. This suggests that, as I mentioned, the more arts classes you take, the higher the SAT scores. Another reason to keep the arts in schools for children is because the arts give some kids a reason to go to school and something to look forward to. Some children may actually feel discouraged when they have to take reading and math courses and they just simply don't succeed as well as they'd like. And taking classes such as art gives them an opportunity to try something new and to be creative and to express themselves. And if they're successful in art class, that may give them the confidence to go on to the other subjects that they're maybe not quite so successful in and improve the way that they handle that class. So taking art class can increase their self-confidence, and it also gives them the chance to succeed without necessarily being right or wrong, like with math problems. So concluding, the arts are a very important part of education, and the challenges such as No Child Left Behind and the school budget cuts are something that need to be faced by each individual school district. But it's important that the school districts understand how parents and teachers feel about keeping the arts in the curriculum. In a 2005 Harris poll, 93% of Americans agree that the arts are vital to education, and 83% of Americans believe that arts teach children how to communicate effectively with peers and teachers and adults. So that suggests that most people have the feeling that the arts are in fact important to schools. So the challenge comes in convincing our school boards and legislators that the arts need to stay in schools. There are ways to keep the arts in the curriculum by incorporating art into other classes, such as using music with math. You can teach dance as a part of physical education classes. Children can act out a story that they read. They can create costumes and just act it out and have fun. And you can also use art, study arts with history and how art is recorded in history, or history is recorded in art. So the arts are simply, they're not a luxury that can be cut when school budgets are too low or to cut to make room for reading and math scores. They're essential to every child's education, and it's an important part of the school experience. Thank you.